again. I'm Watty, and today I am joined by my former teammate, Mr. Paddy Ward. Paddy, welcome to 4,000 County, buddy. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, morning. What or good evening for you it is?
Yeah, mate. I think we're obviously at opposite ends of the planet. Half eight UK time. I think what 7 a.m., half seven over there by you.
Yeah, we're 11 hours ahead in Australia. Yeah, it's 7:30.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be there than in Basingstoke right now. It's pissing down with rain.
Oh yeah, the opposite here.
Yeah, you guys got the good weather. Well, it's a year round there, or you still get wet season.
Oh, you get the Christmas time, summertime, so that's always a bit weird. Like December, it's the summertime. So, but it does get cold and rainy, but it's not. You think it's cold, you've got a jumper on, basically.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Paddy, let's go all the way back. Obviously, a product of the Kirkcaldy Junior system up there in Fife. What got you into hockey initially?
When Glenrothes used to have an ice rink called Crystals Arena, and me and my dad and my brother went public skating, and the rec hockey team was coming on after. And somebody jokingly said to my dad, "Oh, you should give this a go." And then within a week, we're at Caman Sports in the Kirkcaldy, down to Kirkcaldy Juniors, and there we go. Sorry, the beginners. Go to beginners. Milan Fagala sold us our first hockey kit.
Well, Milan Fagala, for those that don't know, was a legend. Look him up. Check out some history on that guy. Unbelievable. Did you fall in love straight away? You know, as soon as you started playing, was that it? You knew you wanted to play hockey?
Yeah, just loved it straight away, and then yeah, like didn't really play too much other sports. Did a little bit of rugby and football, but nothing. Hockey was the first sport kind of fell in love with, and still love it.
Still love it now. 40-year-old, still getting it done out
Yeah.
there in Australia. Obviously, going through that Kirkcaldy junior system, notoriously always had, good teams and good players coming through. You grew up at an age where there's a good bunch of guys. How was that growing up playing the junior hockey with like some of your teammates there? Because there were some absolute fucking beauties.
Yeah, we're very lucky in Kirkcaldy. Like we had every age level was competitive. Under 12s, we had two teams, so that was like your bitter rivals, Tomahawks and Redskins. And then just above you, nearly, you had Gary Wishart, Kyle Horn, and you got to train up with them. Like just push you, like you thought, I want to be as good as them. And then just every level, you had somebody else. And they're all getting good guys. And then obviously the Flyers were always pretty successful, so getting to go and watch them on a Saturday night just kept your interest growing.
Especially in that old bar, it would be jumping back then for sure.
Oh yeah, it was just back in the day. Used to have the kids used to be up. We had to do like with that bloody dodgy clock. It was actually a clock.
Yeah.
There wasn't like a digital clock; it was a clock, and then the kids used to be putting the score up manually on the board.
Like you see at cricket
So
grounds and that, where they just
yeah, cricket grounds. That's we all the juniors would be sitting up there helping with that.
one of the one of the things that really put you on the map as a hockey player was as a young guy getting the opportunity to go and join the Air Scottish Eagles in the Super League. I believe he was only, 16, 17 at the time?
Yeah, 17, just turned 17. Yeah,
And how was that experience? Because,
yeah. Kind of got lucky. Scott Rex, you there, buddy?
yeah,
Goes.
still here, still got you.
So sorry, yeah, yeah. I kind of got lucky. Scott Rex was Paisley coach the year before in the BNL, and I wasn't getting much ice time with the Flyers at the time, so he took me on loan to pay for Paisley just for like last 5 or 6 games. Then Paul was assistant, and he got me on a two-way with Air Scottish Eagles. So moved down there, lived there Monday to Friday, and then played for Edinburgh Capitals at the weekend to get the ice time, which was unbelievable.
Yeah, so I forgot. So Heaves was your coach. How was it having Heavey as your coach?
He's still probably the best coach I've ever played for. Like his knowledge of the game and how before the game, like the sheets he's like. Obviously, I wasn't playing much, but you were involved with the team. You used to travel and the team talks. Like just break down every single player in another team. Like you were so prepared. Like so many systems, and that's when Peter Russell was kind of just starting out with the juniors there. So I always say Peter Russell's like very similar to Paul Heavey in the way like his passion for the game and organisation. Yeah, but Paul Heavey was just obviously you watched him play for Cardiff and stuff, like but maybe a bit young to remember most of his games, but he was a great coach.
We've had him on here. I think he's the funniest guest that we've had on 4,000 Counting. Because when he came
Yeah, he's
on,
got some stories.
it was fucking prison rules, mate. No holds barred. The stories he told on here, like none of the new school guys have come on and told stories like it. He told stories about like stealing team cars and pushing them down the road, drink driving, and fucking setting imports like books and furniture and stuff on fire. Honestly, he just came on, and if you haven't listened to it, ladies and gents, honestly, it is
Oh,
literally.
yeah, I listened to the episode. I was pissing myself most of the time in the car listening to it.
I was sat in the interview, and it's the first time I've cried doing 4,000 and counting. I was. It was. We didn't. Obviously, we didn't do video back then. I remember I was sitting in my kitchen.
Yeah,
It was like having a conversation with Billy Connolly. It was just a laugh a minute, a laugh a minute. He's not even trying to be funny. He's just
yeah,
like he's just one of the funniest
yeah. You
guys.
know,
Am I right in thinking? Didn't you have a bad car accident on the way back from here one day?
no, not. I was a lot of time I would be hungover driving.
I don't know why I thought that you fell asleep or something. Did I make that up?
Oh, that was I fell asleep. I was driving down to Hull and I was driving back to Kirkcaldy or Fife for get home, and I fell asleep 10 minutes before I got home. You get into a road you're familiar with, and
Yeah.
luckily I was on the dual carriageway. And, I told my mum I dodged a fox, but she's like, "I heard that story before, son. So just tell me the truth."
Yeah, she's too smart.
But luckily I was okay. It was just the car door, so it was nothing. I wasn't injured at that.
Nah, nothing major. I do. Do you know what? I don't know why I thought that story was traveling back from Ayr to Fife, but yeah, from Hull. That's what it was. You got to captain Great Britain under 18s. What was that? What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like there wasn't many Scottish guys in the team. Like sometimes only one or two of us, but it was great. Used to, we played under 16 at that Tilburg tournament, and then 18s, and I got to play up to the under 20s one year as well. So we won bronze, silver, and gold in that order. So it was pretty cool, and I was captain or assistant for all of them. So
Yeah, that's nice.
enjoyed the experience.
But playing for Great Britain was always fun. Like you get together with a bunch of guys you don't really know. You've not, especially at that age when you're 16, 17, 18. Once you get older, you've played with these guys or you've been to weddings or fucking funerals or whatever. You get to know guys, but when you're young, you're basically just getting chucked together with 20 other guys you've never really met or played with and that. And
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and and there was no training camps back then. You used to drive down to Hull for a Friday night training, and then you'd be on the plane or the bus. We remember we got the bus to France, a few times, and there's no fancy trips back then.
you talked about playing for Edinburgh. That was obviously in the BNL era. What was it like getting that experience and getting that opportunity to play some minutes?
Yeah, it was great. Like obviously, it's like here you talked about Basingstoke, like in Fife, it was hard to get ice time. They were always so good, so it was the best thing I did really is leave Fife and went Ayr, got the ice training, and then Edinburgh. Remember Jan Krajicek and all that was the first year they came over. Didn't speak a lick of English. There's me playing D with two Czechs that don't speak English. Adrian Saul, Stephen Kay, Martin Single. It's all the kind of first. Yeah, like it was a great experience. Like in Edinburgh, they were kind of they're always round that like maybe scrape into the playoffs or so. The ice time was there. Scott Neal gave me a good chance, and then there used to be a few Fife boys, Stephen Lynch and Wilson used to share the driving through with them. But the ice time was the most important. It was the best thing I did.
Here's a name that hasn't come up on this podcast probably for about 4 or 5 years. How was it playing with Jason Lafreniere?
Oh, never train on the Tuesday. Always had the bad chicken.
Yeah.
But he would turn up at the weekend and score like 3, 4, 5 points, like just different level.
Yeah.
And Rob Trumbley was in the same team as him, so like you get off the ice and they'd have a pint of Guinness and a Budweiser waiting in their stall after the games. Like just a nice guy as well. Like like obviously played in the NHL and unbelievable guy, but on the ice was just different level.
Yeah, that year he had 2 points a game, 88 points in 44 games.
Yeah, it was sick. It was fun playing with him, and like yeah, Scott Neal pulled the rabbit at the hat there, getting him to Edinburgh.
I forgot he was even in Edinburgh. I remember him being in Guildford, but I don't remember him being in Edinburgh. Even though I do remember Sol and Kay and stuff like that. The Freddie liked to pop, did he? He liked a couple of beers.
Yeah, I liked a few beers, but like he was a professional. Like he picked his times, but he would turn up at the weekend when it mattered. That's all that mattered.
Hey, if you want to go out for Monday club, miss Tuesday practice, and come and score a hat,
Yeah, and
feel
you're in Edinburgh. You're in Edinburgh. You got to have a good time. So.
What was it like? Were you obviously you're still quite a young guy there? Were you getting out on team nights out with the boys and stuff?
Basically, I would be in air Monday to Friday, just like basically training most of the day in gym, and then on Friday I would always drive back to Kirkcaldy straight out with my schoolmates, and then it'd be 6 o'clock in the morning on the bus down England, 8 hour bus journey hungover. In Edinburgh, you used to have the home games on the Sunday night, so you'd often get a night out after that. But
yeah, that's always fun. Edinburgh's
yeah,
good city. Edinburgh.
but yeah, we always had the away games on a Saturday, so you were mainly down England on a Saturday, so it was a long bus journey home, then a game Sunday night at home.
You did move again from Edinburgh. This time you moved to Dundee, and this was in the era, if I'm not mistaken, where Dundee were legit.
Yeah, well, they had the first 2 years when Tony Hand was there, and they smashed everybody basically. And then a year I came in, Roger Hunt was the coach.
Right. Okay.
The first year we were kind of okay. The second year we ended up actually winning the playoffs that year. I think we scraped into the last spot, and then we beat Bracknell. We beat them in the best of three in the semis, and then Guildford best of five in the final. We won the playoffs down in that was. I remember being at the end of the year presentation. The fans like, "Oh, maybe got a chance in the playoffs," and you're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah."
Yeah. So
And next thing,
just laugh it off. Yeah, we're gonna get.
yeah,
We're gonna get them. Oh, here's a teammate of yours that's been making the rounds on social media this week. Mr. John Dolan chucking nuts. Did you see his fight from the weekend?
is he up in Aberdeen now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's with the Lynx up in Aberdeen.
Yeah,
Laddie fought was like 18. It's like Johnny's.
yeah. I was gonna say, I think I've ever seen John Dolan ever get angry. So he just slap shot. I see him two slap shots and penalty shot in that year. We won the playoffs twice. Slap shot top corner on a penalty shot.
Just a savage. So the year you won, obviously it was extended playoffs in the BNL back then, and you played a 3-game series and a 5-game series. How cool was it to be a part of that? And as a follow-up question, do you think that hockey in the UK should be looking to go back towards that playoff format?
I think the elite league definitely should do it. It's professional league. The leagues below would be maybe a bit harder because most people have a real job. Hockey's a part-time paid hobby, really, for the guys like your brother and stuff. But yeah, the elite league should definitely go back to obviously not on weekends, fantastic, but serious was just the hockey's just better standard.
Obviously, we see it in the NHL, 7-game series, 4 rounds. It's a hell of a battle to win it. But even going to the UK, a best of 3, best of 5, that worked great for me. I'm all over that. If we could find something,
yeah,
within that format, I think UK hockey fans will love it. The players will love it. All the imports that will come over are more used to that kind of playoff hockey. That should up their game as well.
Yeah, because the imports come over and they hear the format and they're like, oh. But that the year we won the BNL, that was the last year of the BNL, so we never really got to keep it going. So it maybe possibly would have kept going, but that was the last year of the BNL. Unfortunately, the year we won the playoffs, 2005.
You had big Jason Smear on that team. He fought pretty much everyone. What was it like being teammate with that guy?
Oh, great. And yeah, it was great. Like he was obsessed with golf. So living in Scotland was just like a dream to him. Like he was obsessed with building a golf course. But I remember being in Newcastle, him and what was the tough guy there? For Owen? Yeah. Him and they just threw left-handed bombs, I think, for 2 minutes. Like just killing each other, and just both of them still standing and just walk, skate to the penalty box. I remember being nice, like wow, never seen anything like it. Like,
two big tough customers.
and yeah, he was a quiet man, but if you got him angry, you'd always joke around on a night out, try to wind him up, but then you'd always like, I better kind of back off a little bit here. I'll go to the back. Yeah.
You played with Gary Wishart that year, and obviously we both went on to be teammates and Wish down in Slough. But that year he started to really do well. He had point a game in that team, finished fourth top scorer in your team. Is he the most underrated player you've ever played with?
Oh, definitely. Like he wasn't fast, but he used to always say, quickest 3 strides in the league. First 3 strides, I'm gone. And he was just, and then Dundee, they used to have a song for him. There was only one Gary Wishart. It was just like, but the boys used to love it. Like, he comes to Fife, but hey, that's life, walking in a wishy wonderland. Just a great guy. If you think he wished he'd have a Budweiser in his hands when he wasn't on the ice, but just an awesome guy. Kind of quiet, but just got the sense of humor as well. But unbelievable hockey player. And you see the points he put up, especially when he came down to Slough. I don't think people gave him the respect that they should have, really.
Well, when I first got to play with him, I knew he was going to be good, but I didn't realize how good he was going to be.
Yeah, no, he was good. And we used to travel up, me, Chad, Davy Smith, and Wish. Wish used to work with Davy Smith as a tree surgeon back then. So the journeys up would always be fun. We used to train Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And Kitty's on a Thursday night, so Friday would always be hungover driving up together. Pound of drink back in the days.
Kitties, I have not heard that name.
And Chad used to get stitched up because Chad could not hide a hangover and save his life. And he used to get on the ice, and Roger Hunt used to just go crazy at him. And there's us like 5 bits of chewing gum in our mouths trying to hide the smell, and then Chad just getting kicked off the ice pretty much every week for killing a drill or falling into the boards.
Oh, what good fun! Obviously you played that was the year actually. That was the year of the crossover cup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How did you find that format?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Because obviously
it was fun. Like you obviously the BNL teams. Yeah, it was sick to see that different, the next level. Obviously they had like the BNL was 8 imports, 8 Brits. It was good mix. But the other, like obviously some of the elite league teams, that most of them were like better than you. But then there was other teams that you could compete against. I think that was the year Eric Cairns was over playing for London.
Yeah.
I remember us going down playing there, and I say luckily there was a bench brawl after the first period, and all the idiots got kicked out of the game. Like Eric Cairns, Robertson, Cornish. So the last 2 periods, you felt a bit safer out there. But yeah, it was just, and Bizinet, like you wouldn't even know back then, obviously. Like, but he was playing for Cardiff. Nowadays, you think, oh, looking back, but obviously you wouldn't have a clue. But it's pretty cool to think that you would have played against him.
Yeah, some fucking tough customers back in that early elite league days. Every team had 2 or 3 guys, apart from Basingstoke, who they had like one. You have the toughest job in the league.
Yeah.
Roll into London and you've got 6 guys going, hey, we're going tonight.
Yeah, it was Lee Valley they were playing there at the time, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, playing out the Lee Valley Ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You actually play your last year in Dundee. You have the crossover. As you say, the league then is done. The BNL is done. And at that point, you make the move down to Slough into the EPL. What had you heard about the EPL? What did you know about the EPL before you came?
Not much. Usually, you get the Power Play magazine, and you'd kind of follow the stats and know the teams. But we were convinced that Dundee were going in the elite league that summer. So it's kind of for the first part of the summer, you're just kind of waiting, like, well, are we going to Dundee? Then we play in the elite league, and then nothing ever happened. And then I remember I was out walking the dog one day, and Chad drove past me, and he was like, "Oh, what are you doing next year, Chad?" He's like, "I'm going to Slough." And then next thing you know, the Scottish invasion comes to Slough. Because obviously Chad had played down in Chelmsford, I think, before that. So I think Chad was probably the agent there. Got me, Wish, Kyle, Brucey. You obviously yourself. You were down there already. Scott McKenzie. It's like remember we played Scotland versus England in training because we had that many Scottish people.
Because we had enough guys to do it. And
Yeah.
we had a good team. We should have won something that year, I think. Looking at that roster, I'm funny enough. I text Tell before. I was like, "Got any Paddy stories for me?" He's teed me up a couple, but he said, "Fuck, we should have won something." But boy, did we have fun! Like probably the reason we didn't win fuck all.
Yeah, well, you didn't know what to expect really, because like nobody obviously knew what the standard of the Scottish guys coming down, and we didn't really know what the league was like. But sure, I remember that we used to live in Sippenham, and we're like walking distance. You had Chad, Wish, and Kyle and came to the party house with the poker nights and all the shenanigans going. You'd have me, Brucey, and Boy in the other house, and just for the first 2 weeks, you just play schnapps and quarters, and it was just like, and obviously Tell's there, like Australia, like what Tell would just go from one house to the next house, keep everybody going. But yeah, it was unbelievable. You didn't know what to expect, but then it was unbelievable.
We had such a good time that year. It was really good fun. Like Uncle Warren was there for a bit, obviously throughout that year. Andy Hanna, like what was it like turning up and Hans would? You wouldn't believe that Hans was your coach, really.
Yeah, I remember like speaking to Hannah on the phone. You know, when you're like trying to like like negotiate your wage, and you're like, yeah, I'll have this much money. He's like, yeah, no problem. You're like, shit, I should have asked for more there. Like, sounds so professional when you speak to him on the phone. Then you turn up, he's got fucking ripped jeans, no like no socks or shoes on, and he's trying to like act professional and like putting the trainings up on the board. Oh, this is going to be good. Next week, the exact same, exact same, exact same. And then he was player coach, which was yeah, obviously wasn't import. You know, he's was he classed as an import?
Yeah, he would have been classed. We had Chico, Zoran, Andy Hanna, Stuart Simmons.
Oh yeah,
He was a fucking oddball, wasn't
he was an oddball. Yeah, yeah,
he? He had those
he was an oddball.
green synergies, and he was like Fulton Reed out of Mighty Ducks. Like he could shoot the puck 110 miles an hour. He just hit the net one out of fucking 65.
Just had zero common sense. Like had all the skills, but just it was not upstairs. What one bit, you know.
I think you Scottish boys really surprised everyone that year. Obviously, we talked about how good Wish was and had been underrated. He actually, I haven't looked at these stats in a long time, but he finished second top point scorer on our team that year. 42 games, 35 goals, 32 assists. Just scored goals for fun.
Yeah, he was sick. Then and did that did Steve Moyer come in just for the playoffs that year?
Oh yeah, Mo did. He had 42 points in 16 games.
Yeah, Mo was in Milton Keynes, and I remember like the next week he's at training, and you wonder what it would have been like if you had him the whole season. You know, like Andy Hanna, you got great stories, but it wasn't much structure there. It was kind of the boys kind of you'd kind of rely on doing your own thing, not your own thing, but like just getting the job done.
Different. We had good fun, and obviously there was other guys there that year as well. I forgot about Nick Burton, Norm Pinnington were there. You know, like different stages of the season. We got through quite a lot of guys that year by the looks of things.
Yeah, I remember like I obviously didn't know Zoran, but I know you didn't like him. But I remember when he brought in the tracksuit, like we had to do a tracksuit to the home games. I remember you and Norm just losing your shit. Like,
fuck, wear the tracksuit to the home games just because he doesn't want to wear a shirt and tie because he's had a shirt and tie on all week.
yeah, but yeah, it didn't bother me, but like, yeah, obviously we were yeah, we were just you were living down there.
It was only because if you had the shirt and the trousers on, you was already ready to go to Windsor straight after.
I know, yeah, you were liquid ready.
Yeah,
What's a Neil Cuba sorting us all out?
Mate, I wonder how much beer we drank free in that bar in Slough those years.
Oh, it was just fuck karaoke. It was just great. It was just like it would just keep coming, wouldn't it?
It was so much fun, and it's something that's maybe gone away from the game a little bit now, and it's something that fans definitely complain about that was say there in our sort of generation that are not there now. Like there'd be 250 fans in that bar until we left every week.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and even on the away games, like you would like you'd feel like, oh, I better go up to the bar and have a beer to say hi to the fans or thanks, you know, like It's definitely like way back to the back when it was four imports. Like the fans were more involved with the players, and that's what kind of made it so special.
That that second year you was there, I left after a cup of coffee. Again, we talk about me not liking Zoran. I left and went to the Isle of Wight after I think 4 weeks of the season. You boys, you had a pretty good year. You had Mocat and Joe Cicerello basically just ripping it up. But you added, you obviously lost me as a Scot, but you brought in Tony Redmond, another fellow Scot. How was it playing with Tosh?
Oh, Tosh is just a legend, isn't it? Like just just sit back there and sauce the park, and he would just rack up the points. You didn't realize how good he was really until you played with him. Like just
Yeah,
you
he had
just you'd find a lane.
39 points that year he had.
Yeah, he was a great guy. Obviously his wife Emma's they're just a nice family. Just great guy on and off the ice, but such a legend of the game, really.
I'm just looking through that list.
And he's a Celtic supporter, so it just tipped him up out another level there for you.
Yeah, don't I know it? He's one of the ones that has been giving it to me since I was 6. So, so it's no surprise that
Yeah.
me and him have had some good banter over the years. You also got to play with Chinny for the first time. How was your experience playing with Chindros?
Oh, Chinny, just a weapon of a man. Like just like obviously, especially me and you growing up, Chinny he was a legend before we even played with him, and he was still going. He's just an ox. He's so strong, and
Biggest back in the league.
for this, yeah, back in the league, and it's scary when he was drunk, but on the ice, you felt safe when he was on your team. Put it that way, and he was a good player. Just so strong.
Yeah, again, he had 50 points that year, 138 pims.
And I think we won the playoffs that year with Chinny.
Yeah, you
I
guys
think it
won.
was that year, yeah.
I think you won it. Did you win it twice? Let's have a look here. What we got?
Won it twice. I think it was 2006 and 7, and then
No,
2 years
2007 and 8.
later.
2007 and 8, and then 2009 and 10.
Oh yeah.
So I think that was the year my brother was there. You won the first one, though.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, Ryan. No, Ryan was there for the second one. I'm pretty sure because I remember being in Liquid a lot of the time celebrating with Ryan. Just, just if you can ever get some weights or cardio into that man, he's so talented. Like he still is. His hands were just sick.
Yeah,
Um,
he's never seen a push-up score a goal.
but he just the way he played, like he was just and like, you would never think looking at him, but he could look after himself.
Oh
Like
he was.
yeah, he had no fear, and he just that kind of just that cocky swagger, but fucking great guy. I'm sure you had some fun growing up together.
Oh yeah, we had we had some great fun. Someone that doesn't get talked about a lot on this podcast. I don't know why. It's just, I know his name's popped up a few times, but maybe not as many as it deserves. How good was Blaz Emisic?
Oh, just silky smooth. Like I shared a house with Blaz actually when
Oh,
he
did you?
started meeting. He started dating Sylvia. Sure, he'd have some like he'd have like orange shoes, white leather shoes, like the dress sense. But he would sit there and eat his bread and Nutella, and I'm thinking, how's this guy just ripped? He'd
Shredded.
go to the gym every day and do the same workout, but he used to wear the graphs. He used to just glide like he scored that low blocker left-handed shot coming down, like pretty much guaranteed he would score every time.
Yeah, he's so good.
And he looked mean with that scar on his face, but just like quiet guy, but just let his hockey do the talking, like and nice guy off the ice as well.
He was always the guy that came up big in the big games as well.
Yeah, well, he scored that year we beat Guildford in the playoffs. He scored the winning penalty. We got a penalty shot in overtime.
Yeah, I remember
Was
it.
it? I think it was overtime.
It
Yeah,
was. Dave Cloutman talked about it when we had Cloutman on because he was the one that gave the penalty shot.
yeah, yeah. I remember that. Well, it was a penalty. No, it was a penalty shot. So it was a big like Clout's obviously probably the best referee I've ever like. No, he Clout's his communication with you. Like Paddy, you little bit sorry. Like yeah, can give you that warning if you took it too far. But yeah, Blas was just he was sick.
Yeah, so this is the year you boys won the second. I'm just going to run through that team here. You had Blaz Emisic, Peter Pontiac, Joe Greener, Danny Davis, Slava Kulikov, Peter Yazik, Kieran Long, Paddy Ward, Yanni Melakar, Michael Bowman, Ryan Watt, Adam Greener, Carl Thompson, James Knight, Sam Waller, Billy Phillips, Andy Munro, Jamie Milton, and Callum Best. I forgot Bestie was there. That's what was it?
You ever convinced him to come on the pod yet?
I've tried, mate.
Bestie.
I've tried so hard to get
Oh.
Bestie on the pod. He did actually. He played my charity. He came out the woodwork and played in our charity game a couple of years ago, and I thought I was going to get him. And then I bumped into him at the Flames game about a month ago, and I thought I'm going to get him. We've got to get Bestie on.
Yeah, he just you can't help but laugh when you look at him, just a nice guy. Not like just some of the stuff you get away with. That story when he was in Bracknell when they took these skate blades out. Like, how the hell do you not know somebody's taking skate blades out? But just nice guy.
I was there. It was one of the funniest. The biggest giveaway should have been, bearing in mind our practices at like 10:30 at night on a fucking Thursday. Bestie's just joined us from Slough. We've been in a little bit of communication. He wasn't getting much ice time in Slough. We need bodies in Bracknell. Kid had talent. We're going to bring him across. 10:30 at night, you look up in the corner and there's Adam Greener and 5 Slough Jets players stood in the corner of the Bracknell ice rink. So I remember we were sitting there, and I used to sit next to Tell in the locker room. We're giving each other a nudge. Bessie's getting his gear on. He's like, that kid doesn't have any fucking steals in his skates. No steals. He's like walking around the changing room. I'm like, how do you know? Anyway, as expected, he walks out the locker room at the Bracknell rink there. He used to come on through the penalty box. And obviously, we're all waiting for it because we know. He's gone, and he's took his first stride. Boom! He's down. Gets back up. Obviously, still doesn't know he's got no steals, and he's just falling all over the ice like fucking Bambi. All the boys are in the top corner, dying laughing.
That's himself.
Just pissed himself. Terry Miles told me a funny story once. Because sat in the locker room, and he's got some new leg pads, and he goes. Bestie goes to him, Tell, why do your leg pads say 14 and mine say 15? What's the difference? Tell goes back an inch.
And it's such a genuine question in his head, and you're just like, is he joking? Like, but he's being serious.
Bandy told a story on this podcast years ago about playing with Bestie and Victor, and Bestie coming back from the supermarket and putting his ice cream and frozen pizza in the cupboard. Bandy's like, what are you doing? Put that in the fucking freezer. Biggest hands you've ever seen as well. Like, if he was a fighter, he would have murdered.
Yeah, big shovels, massive.
Imagine getting hit with a haymaker or one of those shovels. That team again, though, that's a very good hockey team. Guys, Danny Davis was exceptional that year. Stringers was a stud. Ryan had a good year. You just had like good years all round from everybody. And then you finish it off with a playoff win. How sweet was it to win in Coventry with, well, a penalty shot goal?
Yeah, it was just unbelievable. Like the feeling, like Pete Russell, like Kenny Ock, like no, Pete's a player's coach. He can motivate the best of the guys, and the guys that we had in the dressing room, like didn't have to. It was just a great bunch of guys. But winning that shootout, it was just unbelievable. Coventry was always such a fun weekend. And, well, especially if you won it. Just a perfect size barn for the EPL.
It was brilliant for it. And I don't know if it's the same as much now. It wasn't the last time I was there, but back in those days, if you didn't make Coventry as a player, everyone still went. It was like a fucking stag do.
Yeah, it was. You'd always see the drunken. You look up in the crowd, you see a few of them. I'm sure you and Tell. I've heard a few stories. And but especially back when the EPL was before, like kind of went to that next level. Like it was probably carnage back in the day.
When I was scrolling through to put a pic, try to find a picture of me and you playing against each other. I finally found one, but I did have to scroll back through some of my tagged photos. And yeah, there was a picture of me asleep in the ice rink bar. It was fucking probably 2:00 in the afternoon. Got the lead hat on. It's gonna be pre-game napping.
Yeah, it's probably good social media wasn't so big back then. Some of the pictures would have been, yeah.
I I'm glad for that for all of our career. You know, back
Yeah.
then, you'd one photographer in the rink, maybe taking photos, 2 or 3 if it was Coventry, you might get some photos, but not everyone was taking photos on their phone and uploading them and video and everything from fucking every angle. You know, like
Yeah.
the amount of shit that you see now, the boys getting suspended for so many games for next to nothing. Imagine if all our games back in the day were filmed from 25 angles. None of us would have finished the bloody season.
I know. It's just they don't teach kids to protect themselves nowadays, do they? Like the just if you can protect yourself, you're not going to get hurt out there. You know, like well, less chance of it. But kids just skate around the middle of the ice with their head down the ice, think they can toe drag and
Yeah.
get away with it. Like whereas,
You're
yeah,
running to Jan Krajcek or someone like that, you're going to know about it if you get your head up your ass.
yeah, that's it, definitely.
Big 6'7" monster. How was it when you obviously did you play with him down in Slough as well?
Yeah, I lived with him in Slough.
How was that?
Yeah, me, Kev Phillips, and Boy lived in a house together. Big Jan. Yeah, it was great. Like, obviously his English was better by then. When I played with him in Edinburgh, you couldn't really talk to him, but like living in Slough, just a cool guy. Just he would have a 3-story townhouse. He'd just kind of stay up in his room, but like just just a cool guy to live with. And obviously when he was on the ice, he was just a massive player, wasn't he? Like
Yeah.
scored some big goals for us.
He was hard to play against. He had such a long reach. He was big. He was a prick. Like
Yeah.
he was just
Yeah, he wasn't like obviously he wouldn't really like the rough stuff, but he was so big that he couldn't help but like push people around. And probably didn't mean it. Just his stick would just come out and poke check you when you think you're around him. Just
I
yeah,
used to try and fight
he's
him.
just great.
I used to try and fight him. He'd be like, "Why? I'm not fighting you." No, why? Come on, you fucking batter me, but fuck it. Like, you got like
Not
no,
like you to be causing trouble out there.
mate. Hey, that would have been a good trade. Me for him.
Uh,
That's a really good trade. You obviously, I
yeah.
remember you did what you did being a driving instructor when you were down in Slough.
I remember, yeah, the first year we lived in Slough, it was just like we used to just basically train. Luckily, Boy was there to be honest, because Boy was like the
Level head.
personal trainer. Like he would take us all to the gym and put us through the paces. Like he'd be throwing weights around twice the size of us. But Monday morning would be the executive workout after liquid, sauna, steam room, subway, and then I remember the next year I was like, I really need to get like a job, like like just can't keep just fucking around all day. So I used to work with my dad in the off season as a labourer in building sites and stuff. And I was like, do a job that I can actually do in the summer. So driving instructor popped up. I was only 21, so I'm sure it's rocking up to do some lessons and some of the people that'd be older than you.
Yeah, just
But
wondering.
it was a perfect job. You could work your own hours, so you could kind of, if you're coming back late on a Sunday night, take the Monday morning off, and yeah, you obviously got a lot of hockey. I used to coach the juniors and the special need kids, Spice, so
Yeah,
you got a lot of business through the ice rink as well, which is good.
Spice is still smashing it. I think in Slough.
Yeah, that's where we started there. Me and Boy, Carl Thompson's kind of got involved near the end, but yeah, Sunday morning it was so much fun. Like Ricky Hodgson that kind of started it all. It was just fun going there. Like the kids, it was just fun. Like it was always fun.
Yeah,
And that's where we make the sessions. We wouldn't obviously. It's not like juniors can sometimes being the coach could be hard work. Like kids are not listening. They all wanted to be there. So you just have fun, and we loved it.
just a great bunch of kids. And what a great thing they've done with that program. I love to see stuff like that.
Yeah,
What
yeah. And I still kind of keep in contact through Facebook with some of them, so it's cool to
that's good.
see some of them.
Obviously, you probably were never expected to be in Slough from 2005 to 2011 when you first moved down there. What was the reason you decided to take the year out in 2011, 2012?
Yeah, we obviously living in Slough kind of came home away from home, like because I was doing the driving instructor, and there was no point of leaving in the off season.
Yeah,
So I just rent a room off, rent a room and stay down there. Um, and yeah, then 2011, my wife now Lee, she was always going to go try. I met her, and she was in Windsor doing her hotel placement. She's doing hotel management, so we met in Liquid.
Oh,
And she was going traveling, and she just said, "Oh, you want to come?" And thought, well, before you're 30, it's easy to get visas to go places. So I thought, yeah, we'll go for a couple of years, and probably thought we're going to come back, but we've never been home.
never been home since.
We came home for a holiday. Came home to get married, but yeah, we've not been home in 6.5 years now.
That's mad. That's mad.
Yeah, well, we booked once. COVID stopped that.
Oh, okay.
Then we booked again. Wife got pregnant with the fourth kid, and now we've got five kids. It's quite an expensive trip if we ever wanted to come home.
I was gonna say, what would that cost to bring 7 of you from fucking Australia?
Lee's looked at the price a few times, and it's I don't know, it's probably between 12 and 15 grand just on flights. So luckily her parents come out maybe every second year, and my mum and dad, they're retired now, so they come out. And my wife's actually in LA right now with meeting her sisters.
Nice.
They were going there for one of their sisters' husband was in an award, or he's in the film industry, so
Okay.
he was doing sound to up some awards. So she's not seen her sisters in 6.5 years. So all four of them are meeting up in LA, and they're actually going to the LA Kings and Canucks game on Wednesday.
Oh, just rub it in a wee bit.
So yeah, we'll be sitting there. NHL's great over here because it's always like morning or afternoon games. So the kids will get home from school, and we'll just sit and watch the game and find spot mummy in the crowd.
Yeah, that's class. Did the kids showing any sort of interest in getting on the ice, or?
Yeah, my son Alex, the oldest 7-year-old, he's obsessed with it. He's always been coming to the games. He started skating when he was 2,
Yeah.
and he kind of play. He doesn't play for a Pacific team. Like there's under 9 tournaments for Newcastle, so he kind of do like trips to Coffs Harbour, Brisbane. So
That's cool.
kind of like a family holiday, good fun. And then there's a team across the road, but they're like under 11s. And he
Okay.
just turned 7, so he trains with it. He can't play with them, but he loves it. And my 2-year-old Quinn, he's always got a hockey stick in his hand. So there's many dents in the wall downstairs already, and usually take the car out of the garage, and it's carnage in there. But yeah, they two are showing a big interest. And my other son Henry, he might get him into it when he's maybe a little bit older. But
Yeah.
I take him like to play group at the ice rink. But they possibly all play, but we'll see.
Talking of expense, having 5 kids playing ice hockey won't be cheap.
I know, yeah. Luckily, like, over here, the juniors are pretty good at passing the equipment down. They kind of just cycle it through. Like once you're finished with something, pass it on. Skates, and there's Facebook groups, or you might have to buy something now and again for $20-$30, but most of the time it's just like pass it on, pass it on.
That's a great way of doing it.
So
because you see these kids now got fucking $350 sticks. You're like, what? It's a mad.
I know, but basically when I'm still playing, so somebody snaps a stick, I'm like, I've got like my son's playing with like 110 flex, but it's cut down to his size. But
100
yeah, he just it's expensive. It's scary actually. Like when you go to a hockey shop and you're even skates. I remember, luckily we got our kit and bought for us still, but like $1,400 for skates and stuff. Like it's just, how do people afford it? You wonder.
I genuinely wonder, and it's something that obviously we've spoken about in great length on this podcast before, and how we get new players into the game in the UK, how we attract young guys, girls into the sport, and how we can help with the initial outlay and cost. Because if you're not lucky enough to have a bunch of hand-me-down kit and you've got to go out and buy it all brand new and do your registration and then start paying your monthly fees and all, fucking 3, 4, 5 grand a season before you even get going.
I know it's just, you wonder what they can do. Like gone are the day the wooden sticks are affordable. Now the one pieces are like,
and they're made for performance. They're not made to last. It's not like they're giving you a stick to last the season. That's the best technology to give you the hardest shot for about 4 weeks, and then if it breaks, tough shit.
Yeah, if I'm playing summer comp here, somebody will set you up for a one time. You're like, I am not taking a slap shot.
No. Yeah, just like
No chance.
fake slapper, pass it back to him. You can take a 1T on your side. Not buying sticks in the summer. All good. Just lost a bit of sound there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
I think my mum's went into the car and the Bluetooth is took.
Is that what that was?
I should go on now. It should work again.
Nah, we're all good. We're all good. So
you hear me again?
Yeah, I've got you, mate, loud and clear. So
sorry, I can't hear you.
I'm probably your mum probably can in the car.
Yeah, one second. Try to get this back on again.
While Paddy is sorting his audio out, don't forget, go like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, I'm back again.
He's back, so I'll stop my spiel. Yeah, obviously.
Sorry, I'm going to take the kids to school there and it went into the car Bluetooth.
Your mum's probably like, who's that on the radio talking?
Yeah. What's your language, boy?
Yeah, I know. It dawned on me that maybe I was connected to the car and I should shut up. You didn't play 11-12, but on year 2 of travels, you decide that you're going to suit up. How did you end up getting involved in Australian ice hockey?
Colin Downey. I used to play with his brother Deke. So Colin Downey was in Dundee as a backup, and he just happened to be assistant coach at Sydney Ice Dogs. I didn't even bring my kit over. You know, I was planning to go home eventually, and obviously when we knew we weren't going to go home, Colin's mum Margot brought my kit over. She used to come over. She's retired. Yeah, so Deke and Colin's mum Margot would brought my kit over and just started playing summer comp, and then classed as an import, which is a weird feeling. You know, getting signed as an import to play in. I thought it was great. The first year I played Sydney Ice Dogs. We won the league, won the playoffs. I thought this is great fun. And 10 years later, we're still trying to win that cup again.
Was that the first and only? Was it?
Yeah, the good old cup. It's a sick cup. You know, it's one of the older. It's actually one of the oldest trophies in hockey. I think. I don't know exactly the history off the top of my head, but yeah, it's cool. It's a playoff trophy. You know, obviously in the playoffs, everybody wants to win. So we've been close a few times, but hopefully Newcastle will get back there soon.
What's been obviously this was 10 years ago, your first year. You played last year. What's been the major change you've seen in Australia hockey from, say, the early 2010s to the early 2020s?
The calibre import, obviously, I was classed as an import by then. So the calibre import is getting better, and obviously a lot of guys like myself was classed as imports now. Class Australia at home and my citizen, so you've got a few players like myself that are now classed as Australian. The Australian players are definitely getting better, and then they've just originally they used to play three periods, but the first 2 were 15-minute periods, and then 20-minute periods the last period. Now it's 3:20, so it's the standard of hockey is it's improving. You know, it's a good place? It's exciting. You know, it's growing every year and a lot of interest over here now.
So, why did they do a 15, and a 20-minute period then?
Obviously, being Australia, a lot of teams had to catch flights. Usually, you would say we would go to Melbourne, you'd play Saturday, Sunday, and you'd fly home the last flight on a Sunday. So it used to be like a race to the airport to get the last flight. So I think it was classed as like. Yeah, I think that was the main reason. And obviously, ice time was so. I don't know the ins and outs, but it was mainly the flights and ice time. So, but it was weird, like, you know, like 15 minutes just goes so fast. Like, a few penalties and the period's gone, you know. So, and I think that affected the national team. You know, like they go away to the World Championships and play 320s. Like, you know, it's different level of hockey. Like, you know, the last 5 minutes. It's a good place now. It's getting bigger. You know, it's obviously a small sport, but it's getting it's got a lot of interest and exciting.
You obviously touched on the fact that the league's getting better. One thing that I do really like, and I wish UK hockey would maybe follow suit or do something similar, where you offer, I believe it's only $70 as well, is a streaming package to watch pretty much every game.
Yes, just got announced there yesterday. Like you get an early bird, like you get as cheap as $60 for the whole season, and you can watch them live or watch replays. It's great. And obviously the players we might get we get a subscription for it, so it's fun. Like if you're especially for me this year, I'm injured, so I probably won't play most of the season. But you want to obviously say you're playing at Canberra the weekend, you can go and watch a game weekend before. Like it's a good service, and the commentators are it's good. It's a great service. So like, I don't know why UK hockey doesn't really have the same thing. Like,
Money.
Paying per game. Yeah, money. Like it's a lot of money to buy somebody to pay £10 for one game. Like
£15 a stream, mate, is what you're looking at.
Oh, like that's a lot of money, and if you're kind of 50-50, if it's cheap, you're going to watch it. If it's expensive, you're like, well, okay, I'll watch something on Netflix, or
yeah, true.
I'll get the highlights on Facebook at some point, I'm sure.
And that's the thing, that all these teams now produce wicked, very, very professional highlight packages, and they're getting quicker and quicker at it. So there is going to become a time where more people do just do what you say. Oh, fuck it, I'll just stick Netflix on and I'll watch it on YouTube tomorrow morning, or I'll watch it on Facebook tonight, or whatever it may be. I think they're missing a trick. So the Challenge Cup final has just been announced that it's going to be on Viaplay, which is who used to carry the Elite League last year. They're not doing it this year, but they are going to do the Challenge Cup final. The Challenge Cup final's a sellout. To me, I think they should be putting it on YouTube. It's so easily accessible. We've seen other leagues have very good success in using YouTube to their advantage. But again, the Elite League miss a trick because they put it behind a paywall. Now you have to be subscribed to Viaplay at £10 a month or whatever it is. And you're just missing an opportunity to put the game in front of so many extra eyes.
Yeah, that's it. And like, you want to try and get that bait, obviously the podcast, you're probably the same. Like, just gets that interest. And some people don't know much about hockey, but then when they actually come to a game or watch it, like, fuck, that's pretty cool. Like, that's how a lot of people get hooked.
Loads of my mates that have no interest in hockey whatsoever, you take them to a game and then they're like, when are we going back? First question, as soon as the game's done, when are we going back? They love it. And they're for it. And they've never seen a game, or they might have seen one when they were a kid and they haven't been in 10 years or whatever. It's just YouTube's a great way of, A, you can make revenue, but B, more importantly, you're going to get eyes on the game for free, who then will turn into paying customers, paying fans, buying jerseys, buying merch, buying fucking dogs and pints. You'll get your money back in spades.
Yeah. Once you get them to a game, like a lot of people would just get hooked and think that was pretty cool, Usually get asked the question over here, can you drink and will there be a fight? And if you say no to either of the questions, they usually don't come, but you can drink. So
sounds like here, actually, to be fair. We're lucky because we've got obviously such a hockey history in the UK. It's been going for years and years and years. The national team are now starting to really pay it forward. They're in the top division once again. Australia they've looked better in previous years. Have you got any teammates that play with you that are currently national team players, and what's the kind of support for the national team across the league?
Yeah, they've been improving last few years. Newcastle have got like Liam Manwerner, our captain, plays, our goalie Charlie Smart. There's a good few players, Paddy Ward and stuff. My good mate Bert Malloy, he's the captain. He plays. I played with him for many years, but he plays for a different team, the Central Coast Rhinos now. But it's they have to pay to play the national team. It's a joke. Like, yeah, the senior men team have to pay to go to the tournament, which is just wrong. Like,
yeah.
You have
to pay to play. What the fuck is that about?
it's like the obviously the league Australian, the AHL is separate to the Australian ice hockey. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but yeah, like it wasn't that much money before. It was like $1,500. Like obviously they got some big flights and travel to Europe and stuff, but I think the prices went up quite a lot this year. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of standard the team they get this year. But it's kind of sad because like that's the pinnacle. Like the men should be striving to play for that team, and it's wrong that it's a financial decision that might stop some players going, which is sad, really.
How many guys do you know of that have just went, do you know what, don't even think because I'm not willing to pay $2,500 to go to Lithuania or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, I think before this year will be a lot of players like because it's such a big commitment, and especially like yourself when you have a family and a mortgage, like you don't have that money at your disposal. Like when you're younger, it's okay, but
yeah, try to tell
yeah, it's kind of
pay the mortgage this month because you're going to play.
Yeah, no, good luck with that. Like there's yeah, it's just there should be some way. Like I'm sure get some sort of sponsorship or grant, like a bit. They shouldn't have to pay to go to play for the national senior team.
I can't believe that's a real thing. It's mad.
No.
I'm just trying to have a look to see what division they're actually in now. Australia Ice Hockey, IIHF. Let's have a look. Where are they? They are currently ranked 35th in the world, and their next tournament in 2024 is in Belgrade, Serbia.
I think it was in Madrid last year. That would have been pretty cool to go to.
Yeah, maybe pay for that one.
Yeah, I put my name forward. I was like, I'll maybe get a wee trip home,
Yeah, get a trip, catch some football as well. Yeah. That wouldn't have been bad. What's the one thing that Australian hockey could improve on to grow the game more in Australia? Obviously, cricket, rugby, NRL. There's huge sports already in Australia. How do you grow ice hockey in what is essentially a minority country?
Yeah, it's probably similar problems the UK is like money. Like it's Newcastle. You're lucky, the Gary Dorey that runs the Newcastle team. He owns the ice rink, so it's quite it makes it a reasonable price. But a lot of places like Sydney and stuff, like there's not many ice rinks left. So there's couple of ice rinks closed down, so ice time's at a premium. Just like, but roller hockey, like even like there should maybe be more roller hockey. Like I've tried to look at getting my son into roller hockey because obviously it's more affordable, but I have to travel to Sydney an hour drive. Just it's maybe like get more roller hockey. It's like you can do it anywhere, netball courts, street, and then a lot of time that's where people can transition to the hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we seen it loads as kids. Like, oh, who's this guy? He's all right. He's got good hands. Oh, he's just started, but he played roller for 3 years. And you're starting at a higher point than what someone coming out of, say, a hockey basics probably did.
Yeah, like at least with roller hockey, they always have bad habits because they're not used to getting hit or stuff. But their stick handling and all that, and their shots could be there. But yeah, I think just like roller hockey, like you don't have to pay to go and play street hockey or go to the netball courts. Like maybe push more of that, and then you can transition it to development or learn to play, and even just like making it cheap for kids to go and watch the games. Like the senior level. Because when kids go watch it, like they're like, wow. When you it's like when you coach a kid and they come watch you play. They're like, well, that's my Watty coaches me. Look at him, he's playing. Like it's pretty cool. Similar with me, I coach the development here, and I love when the kids come watch you, and you even just say hello to them after the game, and they love it. You see them getting like how excited they are to come watch and stuff. So just make it more affordable, and I say like obviously because Australia's so hot, like there's not many ice rinks, so maybe street hockey. Can we push that a little bit more and make it more affordable? Yeah.
That's a really good idea. How has it been involved with the youth set up there, and what's the kind of standard like of the kids?
I'm not really involved. I've just got I had my level 1 when I was in Slough, but then I had to redo it there. So I just do the development. So like it's just learn to play. So, but it's fun, but the standard's getting there. Like there's an ice rink on the Central Coast called Erna. They just kind of started a team, the Stingrays, the last couple of years. So they're obviously trying to get interest and players involved. So maybe like another 2 or 3 years, it'll be big enough to. They've not got an age level at every, like they've got under 11s and under 15s this year. They've got no under 13s.
Oh, okay, just don't have enough
So their kids were like teams like Newcastle. They've got like loads of kids, or they've got enough to play 4 in-house competitions. So yeah, just the standard's getting good. But yeah, it's obviously just it is a minority sport, so it's kind of hard.
Right, moving away from the hockey, I've got a couple of questions to ask you. I've been asked to ask you. What about the time you lent Terry Miles your bike, and he and he might have got a little bit drunk? Can you remember that story?
I mean, we're living in Slough. Basically, I think there was no team car, so Boy had a car, and then I think Chad had a car, but there's always something wrong with it, or little Peugeot 206. So imagine like 6 or 7 of us trying to climb in the boot and stuff. So I just bought this cheap bike, but I used to cycle to the ice rink. I used to take it everywhere, and I remember one night Terry used to sometimes use it to go between the team houses. I tell him, I borrow your bike. I was like, yeah, on you go, buddy. And I came back. He came back. I was like, Tell, where's my bike? He's like, oh, it's in the bush. I'm like, fucking bush. It's just like I got a flat tire or some shit, and he just like, oh fuck this, and just threw it in the bush. I was like, you little fucking prick. At the time I was pissed off, but like 10 minutes later, you're like, oh yeah, it's pretty funny actually.
Well, he said, what about the time you woke up in Tenerife and thought you'd lost your tooth?
Oh, Tenerife, they were the days. Like I remember it was me, Boy, Brucey, Tell, and Timsy. We just like went to Tenerife. I can't remember losing my tooth though. I can't remember that.
He said we woke up in Tenerife and he thought he'd lost his tooth, and it was a piece of kebab in his tooth from the night before.
Oh yeah. I remember that we did the usual like stupid. We got to Tenerife the first night, all excited, pissed up, out by 10 o'clock, thinking this is shit. Like it's so quiet. Like remember, like the club reps try to get into the bars. Like even they're not like pushing the bars on you. We're like, when does it get busy? They're like, around 2 a.m. You're like, oh fuck. But Tenerife was awesome. Like, did you ever go on one of the Tenerife trips?
No, mate. I was always like, when you boys were always doing these things. Like, I was running my hockey camps in the summers then, so
yeah,
I was always coaching conference, doing all that shit. I missed out, and I'm gutted because now that I'm 37.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I think the year after there was about 13 of us went, and it was like Coxey. Like there was loads of Coxey came, and then it was just like, I remember like you being on holiday and people, what team do you play for? Like thinking we all played for the same team. And you're like, oh, this guy plays for this team, that team, and like you don't all play for the same team. You're like, no, we like we'll kill each other the weekend, but then we'll just get like fucked up at that, like and Penry, I think they ended up going to Ibiza as well. That was like I heard Tell when he was on telling about Pikey Park, €8 a night. Like I included breakfast for €8, but we weren't brave enough to eat it.
Oh god, Pikey Park. That's funny.
Yeah.
You're obviously injured right now. Talk us through what happened in the injury and how long before you could potentially be looking at getting back on the ice here.
Yeah, like I work for a transport company, and just one morning, basically a truck drove over my foot at work. Saw me in the mirror and drove over, so basically crushed my foot. I thought my leg had snapped in half, but luckily, the top of my foot took the impact. So I've had 2 surgeries now. Got a left strength fracture and cuboid, and then displacement. So it's all been pinned and plated back together. A couple of bone grafts, but it's been a long process. It's been coming up for 5 months now, and it's still like I get physio, but it's a long way off really being back to full fitness. So I really don't know when I'll be back on the ice. Like I hope to play at some point this year, but I might not get my skate on, to be honest. Right now
starts April.
The season starts April and it finishes the end of August. So it's basically the off season for everywhere else in the world because that's the only way to get the imports, and even some of the Australian players play abroad and come back for the season. So yeah, I'm hoping to obviously I'm not getting any younger, so I want to be back playing. I'm still having fun playing. You know, as assistant captain for the team. You know, I enjoy like helping the young guys, and I just still having fun playing. My kids love coming to the games. Newcastle make it real fun for my wife and the kids to come to the games, and yeah, as long as I'm having fun, I'll keep playing. And then obviously when the kids get older, their activities will take over. So
Yeah.
I want to get back on the ice and have some fun before have to maybe hang them up.
Well, hopefully you get to do it pretty soon because, as you say, you're not getting any younger. You're chasing that other championship. It'd be good to have another couple of cracks at the whip.
Yeah, and obviously Newcastle, the team I play for, they're always relative. Like, they're one of the more successful teams, so they're always in and around the mix. We got beaten in the playoff final a couple of years ago off Canberra, which just like it would just be to get a picture with that cup with the wife and the kids would just be the cherry on the top, you know, just be unbelievable, you know. So that's the plan, that's the dream.
If you was to win it, say this year or maybe next, would you hang them up? Do you reckon?
Oh, it'd be a tough decision. Like, you know, it'd be a good way to go out. And like I say, like the older my kid, like right now, me playing hockey doesn't affect the kids' activities too much because like they might be doing like swimming or like training hockey, but they're not really in competitive games right now because the oldest one's 7 to 5. So when they get older, obviously their priorities come higher than my priorities. So yeah. So I play number 43. So my son's like, "Oh, you can retire when you're 43, son, Dad." So
I like that.
We'll see. Yeah,
that's not bad. There's another couple of goes at winning the cup.
Yeah, but yeah, most important just having fun and like it's just fun being around the ice rink, isn't it? And with the boys, like
shooting shit and practice night.
Yeah.
What's the travel like over there? Because I'm pretty sure Bandy was saying you would fly somewhere to play a couple of games and then fly home. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Luckily, we're on the East Coast, so Newcastle. You got 2 Sydney teams and Canberra, which is maybe a 4-hour drive on a bus. So we've got luckily we've got like 4 teams that we could drive to, but then you've got 2 teams in Melbourne. So normally you'd fly down Saturday morning, play Saturday, play Sunday, fly back Sunday night. Then if you go to Adelaide, you would usually play Adelaide Saturday, Sunday. Brisbane are in the team league now, and Perth's obviously West Australia, so that's a 5-hour flight. So usually you'd fly over Saturday morning, play Saturday, play Sunday, then get the red eye, which was always tough. Especially if you win. Oh yeah, yeah. Some of the boys have to get off the flight and go straight to work, which was tough. I remember in Brisbane last year, I took my son to the Brisbane trip, and our flight got cancelled Sunday night.
Oh, really?
So it was actually, we're like, oh, that's actually good because he's like, I'll get off school tomorrow, and then we got home about lunchtime Monday afternoon, and then I took him to school because he had school photos, so he wasn't too happy. But
I bet he wasn't.
No. Well, it's only because he's getting school photos. So, but I was like, if you go with the boys, you've got to still get out for school. My mum used to be like that. You can go out with the boys back in the day when you go out when you're 14 to the clubs, but you still have to get up and go to school the next day.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's a very different world nowadays.
I know.
We're getting towards the end of this here. We've got some questions. Guys, if you haven't already, we have a new segment. It is quick fire questions. I've already asked Paddy a couple of these, but we're going to go in depth a little bit more on the podcast. You said your favorite teammate ever was Terry Miles. Why is Terry? I mean, mine as well. But why was Terry Miles your favorite teammate?
It just his character. Like you can't help but have a good time around Tel. Doesn't matter what's going on. Like if you won a game, he's a solid part. If you lost the game, he knows how to pick the boys up. Away from the ice rink, just this stupid shit. Like you sometimes look at him like, how's this guy still alive? Like And he's so small, like the punishment he used to put his body through. But it's just a laugh a minute. Like Quell says, probably half the stories you wouldn't want to share. Could probably get some of the tell in trouble with some of the boys. But yeah, and then he's got the same birthday as me, so I always call him the old man, but with the exact same age.
Exactly.
But yeah, he just made. Yeah, just that the years I was in Slough, he was there for most of them. Then obviously went to Bratton and Guildford, but it's just fun being around him. Just like there's so many stories you could go through that just fucking shit giggles.
Well, a quick shout out to tell because Kobe Woodwork and Design made these, and they will be available to purchase very, very soon when myself and Terence put our finger out of our arse and get something sorted. When I say myself and Terence, I really mean me. Terence done the hard bit, but yeah, Terence a great teammate. We talked about the funniest teammates in a little quick fire as well, and Chad Reekie name popped up on that list again. Obviously, I played with Chad there. I played with Chad on the Isle of Wight. I can echo what a funny fucker he is. What was it about Chad that put him up there as one of the funniest guys you played with?
I'm not sure if Chad's 1 or 2 years younger than me, so we kind of grew up playing together. Yeah, so yeah, our mum and dad were friends, and we used to have the end of the season presentation, and Chad used to have this massive house, and sure you wouldn't get away with it nowadays, but you'd go back to the Chad's house for a party, basically, like 12, 14-year-olds, like upstairs drinking and having a great time. But Chad, just like even in Dundee, like that dance offs, him and Jeff Marshall, I think it was, used to just in the middle of this randomly in the club just start doing like the Starkey and Hutch dance off, like just that. But Chad, like you know his face, like when he was drunk or hungover, he couldn't hide it. But he's just a character, isn't he?
Always naked.
Yeah, loves getting naked. Like, yeah, you go around the house and you're like, Chad, where's your clothes? Like,
never had clothes on.
He's just a funny guy. Like, just he's like Tell, like just Chad to be a little bit more serious, but like just fucking yeah, just we put him on, get him on a drink or a team bus or something, and just he'd entertain the boys. And I've seen him stack it a few times in warm up, like falling into the boards. Just
was it the boys are all playing roller hockey in full kit outside the front of the team house in Slough?
Oh yeah, I know. Sometimes like it used to be going between the team house, like he's like I'm sure there was naked skates and all that shenanigans going on, or the infamous poker nights and the Bracknell and the Slough boys used to kill each other at the weekend and get together on a Sunday night, and by Monday or Tuesday, like right, maybe I should go home now.
Yeah, it's just been a 3-day eater. We used to have some fun, even like Bracknell and Slough. Once I'd left and I was in Slough and Tel was in Slough, we still go back and see the boys and have a night out and have some fun.
That's what makes hockey so special. Like, but when it comes to the ice, there's no friends on the ice, but off the ice, that many, like most people are great guys. You come across 1 or 2 dickheads in your life.
Yeah, not many.
Playing hockey, but most of the time the boys will sort them out, and yeah, just genuine nice guys, do anything for you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna finish this one. We've added a new segment, but we're gonna finish with an old segment, one we haven't asked a guest for a while. But because you're from my generation, we are going to finish this podcast with a story for the boys. Anything that springs to mind from your illustrious career, Mr. Paddy Ward?
Oh fuck, I don't know. Like, I knew you were going to ask me that question, but I don't know. I remember back when you talked about that crossover time. I remember playing for Dundee, going down to play London races, and the weather was just horrendous. Like we thought, right, there's no way we're going to get down London from Dundee. It's like a 9-10 hour bus journey. So we had to attempt to get to the game. So we got in the bus. It was snowing. I'm like, right, when's the bus going to turn round? And then not kept going. Then we get to the game, and then, like I said, there was that line brawl, Eric Cairns. I remember like being 2 feet away from him, just throwing bombs. I'm thinking, like, oh shit, don't come next to him. But then after the game, our bus broke down. So like we won the game amazingly, and we just like got a lock in at the pub across the road, and it was just a fun night. And then finally, when the bus got going again, all the boys back to the ice rink, pick our kit bags up. Next thing you know, half the team are on the ice, butt naked, skating around. It was just fun back in the BNL days. I remember the guy who was playing that day. Remember, you used to have 8 imports, but you had to have 8 British players dressing.
Yeah.
So I think Wish might have been injured, but he had to dress because he had to have the 50-50 rule, and he used to just abuse people on the bus. But yeah, nothing really funny come off the top of my head, but yeah, like I'm sure there's many stories that will pop into my head after, but
one's
just the bus, yeah.
One's just popped into mind now.
Yeah, you go.
Naked skates. Do you remember we used to get back on the bus in Slough, and obviously they'd have flooded the ice after the rec skate on like a Sunday night or whatever. We'd be drinking beers on the bus back from wherever we'd be. And Tel would bust out the gimp mask and fucking wheel around out on the ice. He'd have that black leather gimp mask on.
Yeah. Everywhere he went, he just seemed to have it, pull it out. Like Tel, where the fuck do you keep that? Like everywhere he went, he would have it, and he would just. That's back when I wish you could wish the video coverage, like no, you try to see some of them, like remember Tel jumping into the snow pit or doing a backflip onto the snow pit outside, like just to really have a good video, like go back in the day. But yeah, just the gimp mask is. I think he enjoyed it more than he let on, to be honest.
Yeah, I do as well, actually. I think he did as well. I just thought of a funny Chad Reeky story. I can't remember, we were in a bar one night. I don't know if we were on the island. Might have even been Scotland. And there's a bird at the end of the bar. There's a girl at the end of the bar. And out of nowhere, you just hear fucking glasses smashing. Chad had took a puck out of his pocket and sauced it across the bar. I was like, why have you got a puck in your pocket? Like, just fucking took a puck to the.
Yeah, that's just that's the kind of shit that he'd. Like Keith Phillips. I remember I lived with him in Slough. Moved into the house and like he didn't own a pair of boxer shorts or socks, and then all his clothes would just be in a pile in his room. And I'm like, Kev, you want me to do some washing for you? No, some of that's clean. And just like some of the characters are just like,
that's been fun.
Yeah, little gas man, Kev.
These episodes are always fun for me because you get to reminisce with about all the guys.
Yeah, it's fun to go down memory lane. You think, fuck, I'm old actually.
Yeah, it's coming, mate. It's coming. It's definitely happening.
You think you'll get back in the ice playing for fun, or you too busy?
I don't know, mate. Obviously my band didn't help things, but my hip. When Milton Keynes was still playing out of Coventry and I was in Peterborough, I injured my hip, so I was 20. Doing 10 years ago, so I was 26, 27, and I did my hip, and obviously I got through that year in Peterborough. I left there, went to Guildford, and I saw like the surgeon in the off season. They wanted to give me a hip replacement. And I've just kind of sucked it up for 10, 11 years, but it's getting to the stage now. It's so bad. I genuinely don't know if I'll be able to do it, buddy. Like, if my hip is okay, like, I'm physically fit, I'm strong as fuck. Like, I still know the game. I won't have forgot how to play the game. It's just genuinely whether the body would let me. Will I go on for fun? Yeah, definitely at some point. I know there's a few good rec guys and rec teams in and around here. For me, obviously, the major thing is Basingstoke's in such a state of disrepair that the thought of going in there.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? Like
10 o'clock on a Friday night to have beer league makes me want to butt.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the Beck ice rink, the free and what's that called again?
Danny Myers ice rink? Ozone.
Danny Myers, yeah. Yeah, Ozone. I was saying Beck's fucking Danny Myers. Yeah, that Ozone's pretty cool. That's where you run your tournaments there, isn't it?
Yeah, we did some tournaments there in the years gone by. Brilliant facility. Obviously, it's the Danny Myers and Fordy. What a pair of beauties. Did you ever play with Fordy?
Yeah, they got sensible. I never played with him, but I've been around him many times, and like just this, he's got that was Fordy. Some of the stories he had, like
the first time Fordy came on this podcast, we talk about funny episodes. If you haven't listened to it, ladies and gents, I don't believe there's video of that, but you go back on Spotify, you'll find the first episode that Matt Ford did on the podcast, and he just told stories for, well, he just did 4, he just told stories for two and a bit hours.
Yeah, you would probably need fucking 5-part series for him, and then it'd be pretty awesome to do like an unplugged just for the hockey boys to listen to some of the stories you could actually tell.
Oh my god. I was gonna say something, but I'm not, because this is what I'm talking about. I got instantly. I had about 19 stories pop in my head all at once, then, and I was like, I don't think I could tell any of them on here. Maybe we will do like a limited edition, players only, where I could send it out to the boys. That would be nice.
You have to get them to sign a waiver.
You have to. Like an NDA where it just goes to the boys and they can listen and watch it.
Yeah.
Paddy, I cannot appreciate your time enough, mate. I can't thank you, sorry, for your time enough. I really do appreciate it. This has been a long time coming, this interview, and I'm glad we got to sit down and get.
No, it's great. Like I say, the only way I really follow the UK hockey now is listening to your podcast when I'm driving to work. So thanks for keeping up the good work. I enjoy listening to them. And I say my favourite ones is when I recognise a name that I used to play with, like the original, like Kyle Horn, and when you first started out. But it's still good listening to the new episodes, and like you do a great job, buddy. Keep it up.
It just reminded me of another Horny's episode when he told the story about taking his old man to the brass house. Like,
yeah, big.
I was like, what? I was like, did you just tell a story about taking your man to the hookers while you sent your mum back to the fucking hotel? I was like, mate, honestly,
I know, Kyle Horn.
Kenny,
yeah, his dad, Kenny Horn, used to coach us. Pivot. But Kyle Horn, like, sure, if like remember when he was like came back from Czech, if he could have stayed in that shape for the rest of his career, he would have been like so talented. Like, yeah, I remember when he fought Richie Hargreaves in Swindon. Obviously, I knew where Richie was, and Kyle was like a gentle giant, like. But I remember like he dropped the gloves, and I'm like, oh shit, you shouldn't have did that. And Richie Hargreaves just filled him in, 2 black eyes.
I remember that as well.
But, Kyle was he's just one. He's just a legend, really. I think he's still playing for Newcastle, or he's assistant coach, but he straps them up now and again.
Mate, he was so good. And like you say, if he'd have stayed in that shape he was in when he came back, he could still be playing now. Like,
yeah, it's just effortless for him. He had the hands, and he's obviously had the wicked wrist shot and stuff, Or the one timers because Zoran was giving him unlimited sticks. Your mate Zed.
Oh, fucking hell.
I remember that first year in Slough. Like, I remember in Dundee, it was like, "What sticks do you want?" You're like, "Oh, what am I allowed?" Come to Slough, it's like, "What sticks do you want?" "What do you want?" You're like, "No, but what am I allowed?" Like, "Oh, just whatever you want." You're like, "Eh?"
Yeah.
What do you mean, whatever I want?
Yeah, so that's new for a young Brit, isn't it?
Yeah. Before you were arguing over £5 or £10 of your wages, now you're getting one pieces.
Yeah, sign me up. Paddy,
The budget got cut the year after that, though.
Yeah, fucking right it did.
Anyway, sorry, I'll keep going on there. I'll let you get going.
That's all right, mate. This is fun anyway. But I will wrap it up here, ladies and gents. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment. Get involved. Share these videos. Some of your old school EPL friends, I'm sure they would love to listen. Paddy, this has been good fun, mate. And I think we should do this again in the future for sure.
Sounds good, buddy. Keep up the good work, Watty. Great catching up, buddy. Cool. Bye.
Peace.